All right, so your guys' finals coming up. I know a lot of you are kind of need to do well in this, so good luck. Just put a lot of effort into it. Won't be too hard, but if you study, you'll do well.
Do you mind if I go to the restroom?
No, yeah, go ahead. Whoa, were you looking at her paper?
No.
Sorry.
It was just over here. It was me and you.
Yeah, leave. Yeah.
That's the final.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
So I get 0?
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta talk to someone, but probably.
All right, I'm Jaden,
I'm Ryan.
I'm Sean.
and we just showed you a skit of an ethical situation where a college student decided to cheat on a final exam. He was trying to pass the class. That was the determined exam that would get him to pass. And he studied, but he decided that it would be smarter to just sit next to a smart person during the exam and cheat off of them in hopes to get a good grade. The professor came by and saw him looking at the test, and he got a 0. Now the professor has to meet with the student that you were cheating from to make sure this wasn't a planned thing, and the university is looking into expelling you, so definitely not the reward you wanted.
So we chose this situation because this is kind of applicable to our everyday lives. As students in college, there is a common theme of cheating. It happens not frequently, but it does happen, and it's very hard to deal with on the side of professors and students because, on one side you don't want your students to fail, but you also want them to learn and not to cheat off other people. And as a student, you want to do everything right, but it's also tough with only so many hours in a day. It's important to know that cheating is not right and unethical, and it leads to dire consequences. And we wanted to really inform our peers about the harm that comes from cheating, not only to the person who cheats, but also to the person they cheated off of and to the professor.
In terms of how we would handle the situation, we kind of broke it into 3 viewpoints: from the teacher's perspective, the cheating student, and then the student who walked off to go to the bathroom who got cheated off of. In terms of the teacher in this situation, they would have to punish the student who decided to cheat, specifically because it was so blatantly obvious, and to hold everyone to the same standards. You have to punish people, even though it was the final exam, and that would be possibly kind of a hard thing to do to fail somebody, but they have to discuss the consequences with the cheating student and what their punishments would be. And then the cheating student, they studied, but they still felt unprepared to the point where they thought that the rewards are going to outweigh the risk, so they decided to cheat. And now from their perspective, they have to face the consequences and the punishment of their actions, and it's just a good kind of knowledge to have that even if you do something like this, not everyone will get caught, but if you do, you'll have to face the consequences. And then the student who did not cheat, in this situation, they'll just have to express to the teacher that they didn't have a role or prior knowledge that the cheating would take place, and kind of just defend themselves in that way so that they don't have to be punished for somebody else's actions.
How this situation is avoidable, the main thing is just study. Study until you know the material, or until you feel well enough to the point where you can take this test and really feel confident in your own ability. Another one is go to class. Skipping class is a cycle. If you do it once, it's going to happen again. It's going to continue to happen. So you really shouldn't skip class because that's how you completely fall behind. Be honest with your professor. Even though it is a big test, if you tell them, hey, I have a lot on my plate, could I take this a different day or a different time so I have more time to study? They're people too, they're reasonable, and they'll help you out. No one wants you to cheat. Like we said earlier, it really harms everyone involved, and no good comes out of it. And knowing the answer and understanding what you're learning really will give you the best future, gives you the best path in the future. And the moral of the story here is just don't cheat, do your own work.